Okay, so we are back live at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, the capital of Delta State, and the second half of Game 3 on match day 2 between Warri Wolves and KunKhalifat of Warri. First half score was 2-0 to Warri Wolves. They lost their opening game of the competition to Osun United. Osun United, by the way, going head to head in the final match of today against Crown of Bomosho. So it's KunKhalifat making most of the play in this second half so far. Just about 5 minutes in. They know they've got a lot of work to do. They may have won their opening game, but 2-0 down puts them in a negative goal difference. So, but Warri Wolves are coming away with the ball down the far left. A sliding challenge, they're not successful. And KunKhalifat switching play to the left. And well, I thought he was going to take a shot there, but across the ball goes. The player tumbles into the box. Referee says play on, and Warri Wolves will clear. The Khalifat back they come, relentless, and that was nearly given away, but it is a Khalifat who eventually end up giving it away, and Warri Wolves now chipping the ball to the far side, all in blue. KunKhalifat decked out in red shirts, and that was a blatant challenge from the rear, and a free kick. I think the player will be lucky if he doesn't get a booking. I think he just gets a talking to from the official, and the medical team called to come check out the player. Well, he appears to be in good fettle, back up on his feet. Free kick was quickly taken illegally, according to the official, and the ball is being brought back so that it will be taken again. 2-0 doesn't necessarily qualify Warri Wolves to the MPFL. It simply puts them back in with a big chance. They lost the opening game, so a win here gives them 3 points. 3 points already gained by KunKhalifat, so they also stay in with a big chance of going through. On the final day, as Warri Wolves against Crown, and KunKhalifat will face Osun United. Those are guaranteed crackers, because whatever happens today, well, that is the one of the worst free kicks you can think about. Absolutely under no challenge, he put it into the skies, and wow, that brought groans from the fans of the Wolves right here. Warri Wolves, of course, from Warri, in the coastal part of Delta State, although most of the Delta is either near a river or the ocean. They are seen somewhat as the home side in this competition, so it was a big shock when they lost their opener. They've certainly stepped up to the plate so far in this game. As KunKhalifat, again, they go on the attack. Well, we're surrounded here by players of Osun United and Crown of Bomosho, who are headed up now to go limber up for their game, which will come right after this one. Brilliant skill, turning his marker inside out from the KunKhalifat player, and one of his men went down just outside the 18-yard box. The referee is pointed not to the spot because it was outside the 18, but this one is a dangerous one because it's right on the line, and they will see this as an opportunity to try to score. So free kick to KunKhalifat, owned by a very promising young man from based in Owerri, the Imo State capital. a team that took the NNL by storm in the regular season, coasting to victory. I mean, they topped the table comfortably. But it's time for a change now, and it's Kabiru Haruna is going in for Warri Wolves. And the man who's being substituted is the number 3 man. Asaka, I think that's his name. Well, that free kick did get on target, but the goalkeeper clutching it on the line. Wolves, they controlled possession, controlled the chances in the first half. No surprise that they led by 2-0. Their second goal, a penalty, after the KunKhalifat goalkeeper clattered a Warri Wolves striker in the box. They protested, but the referee wasn't having none of that. And John Eboho stepped up to score. So good play by KunKhalifat again. Chips it down. Can he keep it in? He just about manages to keep that in. Rolls it back to his man now. He's a captain, and they're keeping possession down this left. Good, beautiful football, but took his eye off the ball just momentarily, and immediately Warri Wolves latched onto that, and he has to get that tackle right. Else, well, he did get it right. So Warri Wolves could not profit. These long forward balls by Warri Wolves causing all sorts of problems. They have been the ones under pressure in this second half, but those longer pinged balls are really giving issues to KunKhalifat. The player of Warri Wolves down inside his own half of the pitch, but not sure he's badly injured. He's limping back into the action, but does look like he'll be all right. And but players cannot be players if they're not tough. Wolves back in control now. Chips the ball to the edge of the area now. A cross required. But again, an outstretched leg for KunKhalifat. Well, it puts that one out of danger. In fact, he's been given a free kick. And that ball knocked forward now. Another free kick. The game has been punctuated by fouls. The pitch were not necessarily in the best of shape, and the drizzle that's been going on here for more than an hour has also added to that. Okay, free kick chipped to the edge of the 6-yard box, header, but the goalkeeper absolutely unsung. Warri Wolves will not just be looking for victory today, they will be seeking to keep a clean sheet. If they manage to do that, well, that puts them in very good stead for the final matchup in the group stage. KunKhalifat preparing a substitution of their own. Again, a cross for KunKhalifat, rather too long. He tries to drag the ball past his man, but Warri Wolves were not letting that happen. And did that take a touch? I think it did. And Khalifat, they're having lots of that's a foul. Yeah, to KunKhalifat. The player had already gone past his man before a sliding challenge took him down and out. Warri Wolves have to be very careful because even though it might be a 2-0 lead, we understand what happens when a 2-0 lead is halved. But the player so the free kick knocked to the that should be that was very close indeed. That was very close indeed, and not for the first time in the game or in this second half. But again, I told you about those long balls, but that should be offside, and it is. Warri Wolves' strategy, well, it's been working so far. Just leave one forward with these defenders of KunKhalifat. It does mean each time, a player of KunKhalifat pushes down an opponent, but the referee was occupied with another player who had gone down. I'm pretty sure if he had seen that, he probably would have booked the man in the red shirt. The Warri Wolves player lying prone in his own half of the pitch, just inside his own half of the pitch, because he's in the center circle. The stretcher has been brought onto the pitch. It looks like the injury is a little bit worse than it looked when it happened. It was actually innocuous looking, but some of the KunKhalifat players looking like they think this might be time wasting because Warri Wolves lead 2-0 and they can afford to do this. The player, though, holding his head, he does look like he actually is genuinely injured. No, 3:30 I won't go. So they have to restart with a free kick inside their own half. I remember the last action was an offside call before the injury did occur. So, ball chipped into the 18-yard box of Wolves. In fact, a couple of players making the clearance together on behalf of the blue-shirted Wolves team. KunKhalifat are looking for their first ever promotion to the NPFL. Warri Wolves, on the other hand, have been veterans. In fact, Warri Wolves, the first foray into the league, lasted nearly a decade before they suffered a few relegations in the past to restart play via set piece into the 18-yard box. It goes a header, takes it away from Warri Wolves. A player hits the deck. Nothing doing, says the official. He is KunKhalifat. And again, I think Warri Wolves, maybe they've been getting away with so many of these challenges. Well, this time they don't get away with it because the referee has flashed a yellow card. In the first half, I think Warri Wolves absolutely so far. But in this second half, they have allowed the other side a little bit more time on the ball. And it seems that's why the fouls are reckoning. But so far, Warri Wolves 2 and KunKhalifat 0. Well, another header. Again, great defensive header from Wolves, but it's KunKhalifa still with the ball, trying to shift it out to the left, but eventually the referee took his side of the eyes of the ball a little bit. Wolves then it instantly went into touch again, and this time the throw was for KunKhalifa. Warri Wolves for a long time were one of the best teams in Nigeria and constantly qualified for the CAF competitions because in the NNL, where the current leadership or management of the club say they intend to return Wolves to those glory years. But first of all, they have to get back into the MPFL. Well, just for a change, a free kick, but this time it's Warri Wolves who are the recipients. Just pass. It's Wolves now trying to fashion something. And well, that control inside the box, the player slipped. I think the pitch has been a bit showers, nothing really serious. I couldn't call that a downpour either. A long punt. And KunKhalifa just looking for just one goal. They know that will get it back and an opportunity, but too many touches. And of course, that free kick was going to Warri Wolves. If KunKhalifa loses today, well, they'll have no one but not. Warri Wolves just fashioning a half chance, scuffed it a little bit on the top, and it was always going wide as soon as he left his foot. But even that is some encouragement because all Warri Wolves need in this second half is simply keep out KunKhalifa. Another great defensive header, putting off the strikers of KunKhalifa. What can Wolves do here? Well, player goes down. Free kick it is, says the referee. Can hear the noise, elevated noise levels. That's because Warri Wolves are playing. So we've got a lot more fans in the stadium. Monday, not traditionally a football day in Nigeria, but of course for tournaments like this, it runs across the entire week. They will be observed as rest days in this competition. And a chance for Warri. It is goal number 3 for Warri Wolves. The goalkeeper spilled the ball, tried to grab it back, but Warri Wolves, the striker was there. I think, I don't know if he might have been injured, but this goal will stand because there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. I don't think that was the best of saves for the goalkeeper. He pushed it out back into the round zone, and of course, the first man in there to finish was a blue shirt. This is not just a victory, it is a statement of intent. They want to get back to the MPFL. And of course, at 3-0, this sounds like curtains for KunKhalifa. Warri Wolves won their conference, and KunKhalifa also won their conference. So this is a lesson in attacking football by Warri Wolves. They've actually been under pressure for much of the second half. But again, I've always talked about Warri Wolves always maintaining a danger man in the final third. And this time, they profited from poor goalkeeping to go 3 up. You really can't see any comeback now for KunKhalifa. KunKhalifa's last game is a very tough one. They face Osun United, the other team on 3 points. Osun United, of course, beat Warri Wolves a stunning upset on the opening day on Saturday. And another booking, this time for Warri Wolves. A player is down, a player of KunKhalifa, just outside the 18-yard box of Wolves. Wolves with daylight now between themselves and the opponents. And without a shadow of a doubt, they also have the best goal difference, not just in the Southern group, but in the entire playoffs. This is the joint highest scoring game so far. The first game today finished Yobe Disasters 2, and of course, Doma United of Gombe 1. 3 goals in that one, 3 goals in this one. The only difference, only one side has bagged all 3 in this game, and that's Warri Wolves. Free kick, KunKhalifa. Play going on between the referee gets to happen, and they straight what it is, they can't clear the wall. They do their job, gets to happen, and they straight what it is, they can't clear the wall. They do their job beautifully. Effort will certainly be adding an extra gloss on the scoreline. They've really been guilty of poor defending. He's been at fault, and his poor attempt at parrying a free kick led to the third. Well, this is comical. A player of Warri Wolves actually went down, and a player of KunKhalifa tried to back him, get him on his back, and take him out of the pitch. But he wasn't doing a good job of it. So the player fell down back on the pitch. And this is really very, very funny. I don't get what's going on here, because a player has been sent off